morning.
Morning, sir. So last time out, obviously got a big win. I guess just how important was that for you, maybe mentally, confidence-wise, just to get back in the win column?
Yeah, it was also important for my job. It would have been 3 losses in a row. That would have been awful. No, the break I took from the Nathaniel Wood to this one made me grow as a man, made me grow as an athlete. And you saw a more strategized Charles in the fight against Kron, where one mistake could have cost me everything. So, yeah, strategy won that night.
You had an awesome post on social media not too long ago about like not accepting criticism, and is that something that you were feeling? Were you feeling a lot of like hate or criticism?
Of course, I was building a proper hype. I did the Sparta kick with Andre Hewell, guillotine Vanata Spensov, and then I had a big war with Shane Burgos. I was like, boom! I'm like, oh shit, everybody likes me now. Then you have a bad night at the office and everybody spits on you, like mainly media, especially from Quebec. And I was like, wow, I've been busting my ass off for you guys and you spit in my face. So I was like, wow, I need to be more self-centered now. So reading very interesting books from diverse people like Seneca, Plato, and the way they think, and the way, as much as they're focusing on the world, they're focusing on themselves first, made me a better self-centered individual, and therefore made me a better provider for the people around me that I care about.
That's awesome. So has it kind of changed your philosophy on the way you're approaching your career?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right, we'll talk about Ricardo Ramos here. Kind of a mystery guy, right? A dangerous opponent, but we don't really see him that often. How do you get prepared for a guy like that?
Well, the thing with Ricardo is a little bit like the preparation for Vanata. Like you watch one of his fights, it's grappling heavy, and then watch one of his other fight, he's like bleeding and throwing spinning shit everywhere. So it's very hard to have a proper strategy. So the thing is spinning elbow. Of course, everybody know here it's his biggest weapon. And he's either pushing you into it or drawing you into it. So I need to be sure that I'm fighting a firefight, but in the middle. And I saw in an interview that he said, I'm not scared of Charles striking, but I want to utilize my jiu-jitsu, which, fair play to him. It's a good strategy. And yeah, if he tries to shoot me, I'm going to be willing to take his head in a guillotine. So that's the thing. I have a boxing heavy fight, couple kicks, and if he makes a mistake, caught him right away. That would be my strategy. Nice. I'm selling it out. I know you're watching, Ricardo, so be ready for that.
I mean, if you just lay it out there, you got no excuses, right?
Yes, sir.
On paper, it looks like it should be a pretty exciting fight. I mean,
yes.
Do you see it that way? I always wonder, like, the fighter's mindset. Can you go, like, yeah, this is probably going to be a pretty good fight?
Yeah, but, like, it's like, well, girls say that all the time. You know, when you have big expectations, sometimes they're smaller. But, yeah, it's... No, I mean, you know, sometimes we think like this fight's gonna be crazy, and it end up being like not as much crazy. But yeah, my personal take, it's gonna be wild. He's a very dangerous man, and he throws a lot of volume, and volume creates opportunity, and those opportunity, it's either him or me who's gonna take advantage of them.
Nice. Last thing for me, a win here. Do you focus on rankings and where you go, or I mean, does the new philosophy not worry about that stuff as much, or do you still think about it?
No, I don't. I'll see afterwards. Like people were talking about, oh, they're going to do Toronto. They're going to do this. Do you want Cub? I don't care anymore. I have a very big assignment this Saturday, and afterwards we'll see. I live fight by fight, and also I've been critics about people who are judging us for not making as much money as we should. Which there's two sides of seeing the thing, but now, knowing that I'm engaged and I'm trying to build a future, and knowing that I can lose half my purse with one mistake makes me think differently. So yeah, I'm taking one fight at a time, and victory is very important for me in that regard.
Charles?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, there was a lot of criticism on Kron Gracie in your last fight, but do you think you're not getting enough credit for making him look like shit?
It's okay, but I agree with that. I just did an interview and I talked about it, and Michael Bisping talked about it as well. And I think that the strategy was properly applied. Me controlling his hips when he was throwing the pull guard. Me when he was trying to pull guard, putting him against the cage. So people think, oh, it's heavy on me. No, his weight is on the cage. So yeah, we worked on all those things. I had like crazy amount of black belts destroying me for that fight to prepare me jiu-jitsu wise. And yeah, I think the strategy was properly applied. And we're talking about a guy who has a win over Caceres, who is a ranked guy. I'm not, and we had a fight of the night against Cobb, who was properly ranked when that happened. Of course, time made a factor, but my preparation did as well.
Your last 3 fights have been in front of sold-out crowds back at the Apex. I know that you love the fans. You love fighting in front of fans. So is it kind of a bummer that you're not in front of fans?
I'm very happy to be back at the Apex. My schedule is very light, and there's a more violent element towards that private bloodbath that people are witnessing, knowing that there's not that many people watching it. It feels like almost feels illegal, and it's cool. When I fought Philly here the first time when I was like 23-year-old, and there was nobody, and I was like, wow, this is freaking badass. And I'm very happy to be back at the Apex. People were like, oh, why aren't you on the card? You just fought on the main. I'm very happy. I actually talked to my manager and we asked for this. And yeah, I like the simplicity of it. It takes the drama element out of it. I remember when it was my first pay-per-view fight against Kron, and I remember the guys like, what makes you hate Kron so much? I'm like, I don't hate him, but you need to tell me how much you want to destroy him, his life. I'm like, no, I just want to fight, you know. So forcing all those things during fight week was very draining mentally, and now it's simple. Talk with you guys. Now I don't need to do anything but wait afterwards. So I'm very happy to be here.
With all that being said, you still haven't fought in Canada while you're in the UFC. So is that next on your checklist?
Yeah, but every time I plan something bad happened or something. So I'll live day by day, but we'll see. Of course, it would be interesting in January. The timing fits perfectly, but I have a very big assignment to not eat a spinning elbow on Saturday. So I'll focus on that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Charles, continuing along those lines, I know you just mentioned the switch to a more self-centered mindset.
Yeah.
But as a Canadian, how is it like for you to see the influx of more talent coming out of Canada as of late?
Can you repeat? Sorry.
How is it like seeing the influx of talent coming out of Canada?
The new wave, let's
Yeah.
say. But like I'm still younger than the new wave. It's crazy. I'm the Canadian who has the most fight right now. I heard from the interview previously. They said, yeah, you have, I think, it's going to be my 12th. So I'm still 27, and I'm seeing those up-and-coming guys fighting at Dana-White contenders and everything. But like I said, I'm still younger than these guys. But it's good to know that I have a positive impact. They cheer on for me. Wow, this is the time, and I forgot his name. Mike Malott, sorry, Mike. I know your name. Mike Malott sent me encouragement. Kyle Nelson as well. Like all the Canadians are kind of brushing together and pushing me, and I'm very happy for that. I'm behind them, and they're behind me, and yeah, it's a cool red flag bunch of fighters.
Obviously, we're seeing the growth of the UFC and MMA in Mexico. What do you think needs to happen for that to continue, like in Canada, for them to continue to get this significant growth of mixed martial arts out there?
The problem with Canada is the lack of the amount of people. Like we're only 8 million in Quebec, so it's putting down the drain. And like because I'm not like George, they don't give a shit about me, and it did not piss me off because I learned to live with it. But I'm like, man, there's never going to be another George. And George set the bar so high for us. Like sometimes I watch on UFC Canada and it's like, oh, he's good, but he's never going to be George. I'm like, yeah, no shit, no one's going to be George. And it fucking hurts to see that. I'm like, come on, you need to think deeper than that. Like, of course, I'm not going to be the greatest fighter of all time, but I'm representing your flag at the end of the day, which I'm happy about. So yeah, makes me laugh. It's okay. And I wish more people were interested in it, but it's okay. It's their choice. They can watch hockey.
So you think it's more of like a thing where like the fans need to kind of get more educated on the sport out there?
They should. I think we're not brute, even though I look at myself in the camera. I got the tattoos, the beard, and I look mean, but I'm a genuinely nice guy, and I think I represent well the sport. I'm goofy. I have fun with my social media, and I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't hate anyone, and I'm not a violent man, you know?
Thank you.
Of course.
Charles, thanks for taking the time.
Yes, sir.
When we got to talk to Raul Rosas last week, he mentioned everything was great when he was undefeated. Everybody talked to him. Everything was awesome. Gets his first loss. In his quote, he could count all his friends down in one hand. You mentioned, thank you for sharing about the whole Quebec thing and
Yes.
how you have to focus on yourself. Is that almost something that was good for you to happen?
Absolutely. I think we are men and women as well are born for are getting better from hardships, but you need to face them. Me, something I despise is people who are blaming everyone when they lose. Oh, it's my camp. Oh, it's this. No, it's you. You lost. You had the ability to win, and I hate the blame game. I'm not a big blame guy. When I blame someone, I blame myself, and I acquire a lot of growth from that.
For sure, man. That accountability.
Yes.
And last for me, you mentioned changing your philosophy. Can you elaborate on what that philosophy is now going forward?
Yeah, it was mainly about being more self-centered, knowing that when you do all those things for people to like you, and like if you do too much things for other people, you're kind of losing yourself. And in order to give, you have to build something. It's like a well analogy that my grandmother used to have. It's about cannot give water in an empty well. So you have to focus, you have to dig deep, find yourself, find the water, and then you'll be able to provide positive things to other people. So yeah, self-centered is a good thing. And also Andrew Tate. I know many people don't like him, but he helped me tremendously with many ways of thinking about life.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And good luck on Saturday.
My pleasure. It's good. All right. Thank you, guys.